right, guys, we are here with plumbing, so let's talk plumbing. I got Tony here, not only from Plumbing Boys, but also Rooter Boys. So he has two companies, he does it all. He's actually a family friend of ours, so he's helping us out with his project. He's helping us learn a lot of things because we really don't know a lot. Tell us a little bit about how you started your company. I know it's been family owned for a while.
Yeah, I started back in 2014.
2014. How many trucks you start with?
One truck.
One truck? You were doing all the work, huh?
Yeah.
How many trucks you got now?
Now I have 8.
Yeah, everybody starts somewhere. Same thing with us in this project, and you kind of build up knowledge. Tony, he's helped us with a lot of the issues here and helped us figure out how to work a lot of things. A lot of the other plumbing companies that we contacted, they just want to shoot price points at you and tell you that everything's covered, but they shoot crazy high price points, and it seems like they're not really knowledgeable about their work. Tony is someone that I trust regardless of this, but talking to him throughout this process and having him answer a bunch of questions for us helped us understand that he knows what he's talking about, and then that way we know what we're doing and we have nothing to worry about. As far as price points goes, because I know that's what you guys are interested in, this project, Tony explained to us the way they kind of calculate it. They usually hit you with a big number, but in the industry, I guess they call it points. They charge per points, right?
Yeah, per point.
And what's the going rate right now in LA as of June 2021?
Well, it's 1,800 a point, but because of how the prices are changing on material, so it might go higher.
So what does a point mean? What defines a point? How do you dictate how many points are on this project, for example?
So point is just like as a fixture. So you have the hot and cold and the drain line with the vent.
And that's 1 point?
Yeah, that's 1 point.
So a regular bathroom with a shower tub combination, a toilet and a sink is 3 points?
Yes.
In this project with the kitchen and everything, we have roughly about 20 points. He was telling me the hoses on the outside of the house, some of the smaller things are less than a point, right? So it's charged a little bit different.
Yeah, because it's a single line, but then it just calculates how far the distance is, so how much material we're going to use.
And like he said, price points are crazy right now. So we bought some lumber for the floor joists and everything. As of a week ago, they dropped a little bit. So what we paid back then, it's not that much now anymore, but prices are fluctuating crazy. We're seeing a lot of contractors just like Tony, they'll tell you like, hey, if prices fluctuate, my prices fluctuate because it's the cost of materials. There's nothing I can do about it. Tony's hooking us up. He's telling us 1,800, he's gonna eat the losses up to a certain point. If it goes past that, then we're gonna have a new conversation. This project with 4 bathrooms, the master having 5 points because it has a separate tub and it has a double sink in there, we're coming to about 20 points total. The whole project, including the mainline connection, you're gonna have brand new plumbing, gas, everything in this house. Everything's gonna be brand new. It's gonna run us $40,000. That's labor, material, passing inspections, everything that needs to be done. I'm gonna take you guys and walk around the project a little bit, talk about some of the things that we found, we came across that we're still working on, and I'm gonna let Tony go because he gets calls left and right. Busy guy, but there's a reason for it. Check out his Yelp account and you'll see why. All right, we're in the front of the property right here. It's where we're connecting the main sewer line to the main line in the street. Tony went ahead and they had everything checked, and he found that there was problems with this, which is why we're gonna clean this out and change everything so that we have no more issues. We actually found this little metal rod that you see in front of me. It's about 30 feet long. Tony will tell you a little bit about what that is and why it was in there.
So what this is, it's part of a snake machine. Usually if there is an obstruction in the pipe, we snake it, and sometimes if that obstruction is big, you'll get caught in it and they'll snap the line. And a lot of times, if the homeowner doesn't want to pay for it and change the pipe, then we just leave the snake in there because there's no other way of pulling it out.
So what we're doing here is we want to make sure everything's right for the homeowner that ends up buying this house. We don't want to cut corners. We could have left that snake in there and honestly nobody would have been wiser, but we're deciding to change everything out and do it the right way. It's costing us a little bit more money, but at least we're doing it the right way. I'm going to link Tony's info in the bottom. He's going to run to another project right now. We're going to wrap up shooting the rest of the plumbing stuff and talking about all that. Plumbingboys.com, it'll be in the description below. Check out their website, check out their Yelp page, call him, let him know that we sent you guys. Maybe he'll give you a little bit of a discount.
Yeah.
He's a busy guy, so just expect quality work. That's the one thing that you can expect from him. You can expect a lot of information. All right, thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
See you.
Good luck.
We're back on the job site. We just passed our rough plumbing inspection. I'm gonna talk to you guys about what happened, what's going on with the plumbing. Unfortunately, we didn't get any shots of the guys coming here and putting in the plumbing, but we're gonna show you what the rough plumbing looks like. We used what's called PEX, and it's a plastic tubing. Normally, houses have copper underneath, but now with the new technologies, there's PEX pipe, which is what we used in this house. So PEX is the brand name for plastic tubing, that plastic pipe that you can use in your house. Before they only used copper, now PEX is acceptable. That's what we used. Depends on your local codes if you're allowed to use that. So we checked with our inspector. He said we were okay to use PEX pipe, so that's what we did. It is a little bit cheaper than copper, so that was another added bonus for using PEX. PEX is also a lot easier to work with, so that was another bonus of using PEX pipe. You can see here our copper tubes coming in from the outside are getting converted to PEX or plastic tubing using these adapters. You have to have copper on the outside of the house. That's why you need these copper tubes to run in. We have two lines here. One is for the water of the house, and then our second line is running all the way to the backyard, and we're going to use it for the pool and the water spout in the backyard. So you can see the plastic tubing here. You got red, you got blue, and then you got this connection here, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. This is what you call rough plumbing, because all the plumbing is roughly where it needs to be. It might be off by a little bit. You pull all these lines because it's a lot easier to pull them than having to crawl under the house after the floor is in. That's why you put it before you put in the floor. It makes it a lot easier for the plumbers, a lot less time, which means more money saved. So right here on this corner, this is where we're gonna have our water heater, where we're planning on having the water heater. What's interesting here is we have 4 tubes coming out. This is the gas for the water heater. We ran our gas lines as well, but you can see here we have 2 red tubes and 1 blue tube. The blue is obviously the cold water coming in. This red is the hot water going out. The other red is actually a hot water recirculation line, which means you slowly pump hot water all the time throughout the house. And that allows for you to have quick access to hot water wherever you are, even if you're on the opposite side. So we have a bathroom all the way on the opposite corner. If you turn on the hot faucet over there, you're gonna get hot water right away because of that hot water recirculation line that we decided to put in. It's a little extra plumbing, a little extra money on the water heater, but it gives a better quality product at the end. So right here we have the connection to the sewer line. This is how we pressure tested the sewer line. You can see a 10-foot long black pipe behind me. That's our sewer. So you put a 10-foot pipe, you fill the whole line up with water using a head like this. So this is a typical hose faucet that you have probably in the backyard or something where you connect your garden hose to. We connected a garden hose right here, filled up the whole sewer line. You fill it up until you have water coming out of that black pipe behind me, and that tells you you have 10 feet of water head pressure that's pushing down on your sewer, and then you check for leaks. If there are any leaks, you got to fix them. But that's what the inspector was looking for, that column is full of water and that there's no leaks. So we passed that and we're good to go on the sewer. The last thing I'm gonna talk to you guys about is our gas lines. So we had our gas lines installed as well. We have 2 gas lines. One of them is running all the way back to the pool, just like the pool has a separate water line. But we also have the gas running around the house, like for the water heater, for the stove, and for the dryer. What you have to do is you pressurize the lines just with regular air pressure, get a compressor, and the inspector comes and checks your gauges. You have to hold at 15 psi. He'll come, he'll push on the little nozzle to make sure it's pressurized and you didn't just fake the gauges on there. He'll see that it's holding pressure. That means you don't have any leaks and you're good on the gas. Tomorrow, we're gonna put in the underfloor insulation. They're gonna come in, hang all the insulation that goes underneath your floor. After that, we're gonna have the floor plywood. So that'll set up all the subfloor, and then we'll be ready for the walls to start going up.
Welcome back to rough plumbing, insulation, plywood, all that stuff we're gonna do today. We've already got the insulation and rough plumbing done. I haven't talked to you guys about it. I was gonna talk to you about it right now, but unfortunately we have a problem. We bought the wrong type of nails for the subfloor, so I'm gonna go out right now to exchange them. We got smooth nails, so what the guys told me is they need something that has rings around the bottom of the nails. That's to keep the floors from squeaking. That's definitely something that we wanna avoid, is squeaky floors. So I'm gonna run to the store right now, exchange those, and when I get back, we'll start going over the insulation, the rough plumbing, and every other problem and issue that we've had getting to this point. Follow along. These were the nails that we bought. Those are the new nails that I bought. Relatively the same. These are a little bit thicker nails, but these are smooth shank, which means the entire nail, well, there's not a picture of the nail, but right here, the entire nail is smooth. There's no rings or anything at the edge. This one is bright coated. I really don't know what that means. These are 0.113 inches, so these are a little bit thinner in diameter, but they have the rings at the end, which will help the floors from squeaking. Home Depot definitely gave us a run for our money with this, but like, we need them, so it is what it is. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on right now. The guys already started on the subfloors. I'm gonna start with the insulation. You can see here the insulation dropped. The reason that it dropped is they use these things called lightning rods. They're these little metal, here, let me grab one. If I can find one. These lightning rods, they're basically used to hold up the insulation. Originally said he's gonna use these. I didn't think it was gonna be a problem, but these are definitely a problem. Do not use these. Have them staple wires or pull netting or something on the bottom, because these fall out. I don't know if it's because of the temperature. I don't know if it's because the floor joists move when we walk on them, but a lot of this insulation has been falling out. I'm gonna have them come back and fix this because this is not acceptable. I can't have the insulation falling out from the bottom. And the guys are working and stuff, so everything keeps falling and they have to put it back up. It's just adding time to their job, something that we're not okay with. Whoever comes in has to do their job right. I don't think these guys did a bad job. I just think they didn't know that this would end up being like this. I feel like they've done mostly repair work and things like that, so they haven't done new construction, so they don't know. But I didn't know either, so I didn't say anything. This is not the way to go. Half the house is these lightning rods, and the other half behind me, the other side of the house is wires that they stapled. So I'm gonna have them change the entire house to either netting or wiring, so we don't have that issue of insulation falling through. I'm on top of the insulation. You see these wood chips here. That's for the straight edging that I'll talk about, but let's talk about the pricing of the insulation real quick. All right, and the different types of insulation. So these come in ratings. This is an R19. That's what our plans call for. You wanna check your plans, make sure we got something called Title 24 that kind of gives you all the green code stuff, all the insulation, all that fun stuff, the windows, what type of windows, what type of doors, what type of all that stuff that you need. We need R19 for our floor joists. Honestly, this was not on our plans originally. They had put it slab on grade, which means the entire floor is concrete. It's not that right here, it's a raised foundation, so we need this insulation. So with this insulation, it's come to about 90 cents a square foot is what they charged installed. The total charge was $2,187 for all the installation, labor, and material, everything included. I'm gonna have to have them come back and fix the lighting rods like I said, but everything else looks pretty good here. Straight edging, basically all these wood chips that you see over here, they shave these down wherever it needs to be shaved down, and then they use these little cardboard things to raise it where it needs to be raised. The whole point of that is to make sure the floors are leveled, so that when you put the floor sheathing on, that's leveled. When you put on the hardwood on top of that, everything is leveled. It makes it a lot easier to level small things than it did before. You can see there's a lot of places that there was highs and lows. He came in here with an 8-foot leveler, ran across the whole thing. To be honest, it took him about 4 hours to do this entire house, 2,400 square feet, single story. Just the floors took him about 4 hours. Charge for that was $750. It was $750 well spent. I talked to our floor guys that are gonna install our floors. He said, listen, you're gonna save a crap ton of money on the back end. Could I have not spent that extra money and saved the $750 and not straight edge the floors? Yes. Would it have been mostly straight throughout the house? Yes. Would the homeowners notice when they were buying the house? Probably not. But once they moved in and they started living here, they would notice the floors are crooked, there's highs and lows, and it's really, really annoying. I have that issue in my apartment. It's a brand new build, but they have that issue and I really don't like it. I would prefer to spend the extra $750 and have a great product at the end of the day. And I definitely recommend straight edging to everyone. He ran the leveler across this. It looks pretty cool. It looks, you know, they could just slide it across very straight. It's a very interesting process that they do. So let's talk about the inspections last week and all the issues that we had with the inspections. We had the rough plumbing inspection. You have to get everything inspected before you put on the floor sheathing. Everything underneath the floor sheathing needs to be inspected. That's how the city of Los Angeles works. I don't know how other jurisdictions work. Here we need that inspected. So our inspector said, I don't need to inspect the installation. Just take photos and let me know that it was installed and I'm good to go. He did give us a correction on the plumbing. On the rough plumbing, we didn't have insulation on the hot water tubes, which I should have known because I do know that from prior knowledge that you need to insulate it with these little foam covers. That's to help insulate the temperature of the water and not lose energy heating up water, basically. So he gave us a correction on that. We fixed that and then we called them back, had them inspect that. At that point, we also had the insulation on, so we pulled up some sections like this. He checked to make sure everything is insulated, signed off, said, you know what, you guys are ready. So they don't actually give you a sign-off on your sign-off card for this because they don't have a section for that in LA. What they do is actually notate on your account that, hey, it's okay to cover the sheathing. So that way you can cover everything up and then another inspector isn't gonna show up and say, hey, tear this out, I gotta check this, that, and the other. In next week's video, you guys will get to watch the progression of the job site and the construction, and we'll also talk about how we messed up ordering windows and doors and how that's caused delays and issues with this project.